Hey guys, it's Rushedluck here, and today we're going to be talking about the patch update that we just got for the Gunlance. It's freaking awesome. Wyvern's fire and all the such. We're also going to be going in depth a little bit about the Deviljho, its difficulties, where it pretty much lacks in every way, shape, and form. So, playing Monster Hunter. I've been playing since Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, so this is basically nothing new to me. If anything, the Monster Hunter world that they have released is not difficult at all, especially when you're playing with the Gunlance and having the ultimate line defense. So as you saw with the Wyvern's fire, they basically buffed the damage almost twofold, whereas it would usually deal about 60 to 80 on a just a clean Wyvern's fire. Now it'll deal anywhere from 100 to 130 per shot, which is freaking awesome when it comes to just destroying monsters and actually using the Wyvern's fire and making sure that you're using the artillery maxed out. That one really gives you tons of shelling potential. The only thing that only issue I have is that they have long level 3s, they have this normal level 4 shelling, and shelling is really important when it comes to using the Gunlance. If you're not using the Gunlance with the best shelling, you're basically just cheating yourself, because the majority of the time when it comes to DPS on just straight melee or wide hits, it fails in comparison to the regular lance if it's not going to be high shelling level. So of course the Royal Burst is still going to be your top dog when it comes to doing full burst combos and all the likes and such. So first off, of course, you just saw me completely dismantle that Great Jagras, and of course I'm sure all of you do as well. I just wanted to show off some of the damage that the Gunlance is still capable of and the increase in damage. As of right now, I'm just kind of looking for the Deviljho, trying to see where it's at. It does take a little bit to find it, just because my Scout Fly level up hasn't already increased or hit its max. Other than that, yeah, we're just gonna keep looking around, follow some of the Killer Yaku tracks, because usually it'll either be you'll either find the Deviljho with a Great Jagras in its mouth, or yeah, a Killer Yaku in its mouth. So of course we just found it. Now one thing that kind of disappointed me was that they basically reskinned another engine. Now when I'm playing Monster Hunter, I want to see something new. You're gonna have DLC in the game. Give me something new. Yes, this is pretty nice. The fact that it can hold any monster inside of its mouth. I've seen it hold a Betelgeuse inside of its mouth. I've seen it hold a of course the Great Jagras, the Killer Yaku, the Doggeron. Oh my gosh, this thing just picks it up inside of its mouth, swings it around like it's crazy. It's definitely a nightmare to behold. But it also uses the monster that it picks up in its mouth to deal extra damage, which is also pretty cool. So there are interesting aspects to the monster, but its moveset is really limited. As you can see, he does the kind of 3-hit combo. Nothing really extensive there. Nothing that can still make me want to use guard level 5. I've still been rocking the guard level 3, and it doesn't completely what I need it to do. So as you saw there, it hit 117. If I was a little bit closer, you would have seen it hit, of course, the 3 shots of 117. Now, in previous Monster Hunters with the Gunlance, the wide shots dealt way more damage when it came to using it as fire. So the reason I don't use wide Gunlance too much in this one is because they basically made all 3 of the shelling types do the exact same damage. This makes it to where it's not really so much beneficial to use wide shots, especially since the amount of damage you can do on a single shell with the wide shot isn't even all that exponential versus the rest. You might deal extra 2 or 3 points of damage, and that's not going to get you too far. Especially when it comes to the wide shot. If you're going to do like a Royal Burst, yes, it is used to elongate your combos with the wide shot, but even so, the amount of damage that it does, you're better off just using a normal or even a long. Even though the long is better for charge shelling, which is a very interesting tactic that I've seen a couple of Monster Hunter Gunlance players use. I still think, hands down, if it doesn't have level 4 shelling, it's not even worth really putting on at this point, especially in the late game, unless you're really trying to handicap yourself and if you're not trying to win, I don't understand why you're even playing. I still run a very defensive build, as you should with any type of set where you're using a shield, unless you're trying to cheese the whole wide sweep smash down tactic. But I find that gets a little bit more. I like to use every aspect of my build. So of course I run the Ergon protection. The Ergon protection allows me to block anything. I've already talked a little bit about the build that I use in my previous videos, and yeah, it's been working for me ever since, and it still works for me now, even with this new monster. I haven't died to this thing a single time with the Gunlance. It's pretty easy to fight. Of course, he just does the charge, and just like with the Anjanath, tear up the legs, he falls on his back, and then you completely demolish him. Other than that, having really high defense attributes, even tempered, this monster is not all that. So, he's pretty much a joke. He does have, of course, this little backtrack or counter attack that he does. So doing some of the riskier moves like Worm Stake or the full Wyvern's Fire is definitely going to make things difficult. Being backed up in a corner is not even all that bad when it comes to having your Gunlance, and that's why of course I used the card level 3. He did pop through my defenses because I was just kind of trying to feel around and see what he was going to let me do. And let me do tons. And of course when he has you backed up in a corner like that, it allows him to do a lot of quick attacks, and quick attacks will make him stagger a lot easier. So as you saw here, as you can see here, I'm just basically doing the full burst combo on him. Lots of headshots, poison attribute procs. Now, I don't know if I can confirm this or not, but I've noticed that once poison starts ticking on most mobs, it tends to make their stamina go down a lot faster. So I don't think the damage that it does is the main positive attribute of using the poison attribute. Still tons of damage to be had. And honestly, it was just really disappointing to see that this was the new DLC. The fact that this monster can be just so easily dismantled is incredible. And the amount of damage that he does on most moves is really abysmal. I do like how they have the damage modifier for true damage, where it outlines it really to show that it was just a true damage weakness, basically hit a weak spot. Same stuff. Just knock him on his back. I don't know how I was getting underneath the tail so many times, but usually the tail can be kind of an issue. Now when he fell down right there, I was tripped out because I thought he fell behind me. And then I noticed he was on the ground, so of course. And of course, any monster inside of this game that you can capture is going to be extremely easy. For the future DLC, one thing that I would, of course, hope for, and I'm sure a lot of the veteran Monster Hunter world players will, of course, really hope for, are bigger boss battles. Because personally, you could pretty much solo anything on this game. The way the stagger thresholds are for majority of these monsters are really low, so if you do just a couple of combos, you can put them on their back or stagger them, and it makes soloing really easy. They did buff the stagger threshold for playing in groups, but the only point that would really make is for raids. And right now, even with most of the raid monsters, which is supposedly the Elder Dragons, are not even all that great as well. Like, you can pretty much dismantle anything. They haven't unlocked the G rank just yet. Now, I'm not ragging on the game. I absolutely love this game. I clocked in about 200 plus hours playing this game, and I plan to clock in a 200 plus more as soon as they release some actual stunning DLC. But this is one of those bosses where I kind of jumped in there, fought it 6 times, got exactly what I needed to create new weapons, and all in all, I was trying to get something a little bit different. I saw the Gunlance for the Deviljho is it had negative 30% affinity. With that being said, yes, you do a lot of shelling, but the shelling type is long. So if you're going to be using long level shelling, that's basically one of the Gunlance that I was mentioning before, that you would pretty much only use when it comes to just using the blade itself, and kind of using it a high affinity, high damage build. A lot of the moves that, that move in its own is much more ranged one. So if you're further back, you'll bounce up and it'll hit you, I guess. But if you're a Gunlance user, you know better than to be anywhere except right underneath those feet, tagging his feet up. That's where you need to be. Or any melee class to be honest. Always tag the feet, and you can basically just destroy the rest of the body. Pure, plain as day. Really, really easy. And it's even easier with the Gunlance because even if you have low damage output, you can still use great shelling on his feet to put him where he needs to be. So now this Kuliyaku is going to get the work because he decided to come and ruin the hunt. Just a little bit of filler. The Deviljho is basically in the process of being captured right now. He's got the skull over its head already. So we're just going to run over there, destroy it, and then call this clip done. But yeah, capturing it is really awesome. It doesn't give that many materials from fighting it, just regular head on. And I've cut off the tail, I've broken the head, broken the back. Oh my god, the security is so flash and walk out. But all in all, for what I would actually like to see, not that it really matters much, but I think the fact that the boss battles are so short, it doesn't glorify the old hunts where you had to be consistent for greater amounts of time. Being consistent for 9 minutes, 8 minutes is really, really easy. Now being consistent for all 30 of those minutes where the monster's HP is really, really high, now those are the type of battles that I'm kind of looking forward to. And that's what I was wanting from the Deviljho, but I was extremely disappointed. Shock trap, and of course, need 2 trinket bombs in order to get the job done. I'm just gonna show off the build setup just in case wondering some of the defensive values. Royal Burst, Dragon King Eye Patch for weakness exploit, Artillery level 3 max, Scar level 3, Speed Sharpening, Defense boost, Part Breaker just to get those extra pop-offs. But other than that, yeah. And if you guys have any questions, comments, if you like what you saw, please hit the like button and subscribe because it definitely helps me to develop more content and of course gives me more drive to put more out there for you guys. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and peace, guys. And don't forget to check out my Gunlance building tactics video right there on the top right.